Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I'm going to walk my happy butt over to the futon to check out the prime original, Holland. Holland is directed by Mimi Cave and it's starring Nicole Kidman. It tells the story of a woman who is living the perfect life in Holland, Michigan. But things are not what they seem in this sleepy little Midwestern town. Guys, this movie looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like a real just kind of creep fest thriller, and I do love a good movie like that, kind of in the vein of like Stepford Wives or something like that. You know, one of those whole like, this town is not what it seems. Everything looks pretty and perfect on the outside, but on the inside there's a dark secret. And I just love movies like that where they turn the whole suburban life thing on its ear. So you know what? It's enough of me sitting here jibber jabbering on. As always, my faithful movie companion Haku is waiting for me over on the futon. So it's enough of me sitting here jibber jabbering on. I need to go check out Holland. Just getting done watching Holland, and guys, I unfortunately didn't care for this movie a whole lot. Let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Going into this film, if you watch the trailer, much like myself, you'll probably think the town of Holland is going to play a much bigger role in this story than it really does. Because it presents itself as something like the Stepford Wives. You know, something ain't right in the suburbs, and we're going to find out what it is. Someone's going to get to the bottom of this mystery. There is a mystery in this story, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the town of Holland itself, except for the fact that it's just a quiet, sleepy little town where people don't really get into each other's business a whole lot. So really, that's it. It could have been any town whatsoever, so I have absolutely no idea why this movie was named Holland. The story really takes its time, and I don't mean like in a slow burn way, I mean in an absolute boredom way. It is an hour into this film before anything really happens, and that is the story and the mystery. You just basically have Nicole Kidman for the first half of this film trying to find out if her husband is cheating on her. And that's really the only sinister thing that's going on. And I'm sorry, that doesn't really add to much in the whole thriller, something spooky and weird category, if you ask me. It just becomes a very tropey, boring mystery thriller without any really thrills or any chills whatsoever. This movie really did bore me, unfortunately. And then when you finally get to what's going on and everything reveals itself, you think that you're going to have the end right then and there, but then oh no, you still have about 20 minutes more of this film to go. This movie was a little too long. It clocks in at just under 2 hours. I want to say it's like an hour and 45, 49 minutes, somewhere around there. But I swear to you guys, I thought this movie was at least 2 hours long because it just kept dragging and dragging. It just felt like the movie kept padding more stuff in there, but it wasn't really going anywhere with what it was using as the padding. They try to throw into this extremely chemistry-less romance with Nicole Kidman and this guy that's helping her try to solve the mystery of what's going on, and the whole thing seems very shallow and useless. Like, I don't know exactly why they threw that in there, because it really didn't need to be there in the first place. But you know what, guys, in all honesty, it's enough of me really banging this movie up. Those are probably the worst things about this film. The fact that the story is just extremely slow and the pacing doesn't help the film a whole lot. And the actual name of the movie has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. So let's move into the things that I did like about this. It's time to start with the positives. The cinematography in this film is outstanding. Visually speaking, this movie looks brilliant. The town of Holland is extremely bright and vibrant. There's windmills, all sorts of colors everywhere, and there could have been a great moment to take the brightness and colorfulness of Holland, but then have that dark underbelly, right? But we never get anything like that. But yes, the cinematography in this is absolutely outstanding. There's some really great angles. The color palette itself was really great. I was interested in the town of Holland to learn a little bit more about its history and whatnot about these people. But of course, we never get in there because it was one of the more interesting things was just, why is this town the way it is? Are these Holland immigrants or something that have come to this area? What's the deal with Holland? None of that really gets explained in this movie. You're thinking it's going to be a quirky, weird little dark comedy, but there's not really a lot of humor in this film. There's a couple of moments that got a slight chuckle out of me, but then there's a couple of moments in Silence of the Lambs that got a couple chuckles out of me. So all in all, guys, this film doesn't deliver in the something's wrong in the suburbs, it doesn't deliver in a thriller, and it doesn't deliver in a mystery. Once you finally get around to what's going on, it reveals itself way too quickly. I'm going back into the negatives. I am sorry, guys. I was in the positives. I think that just shows you that I just honestly didn't care for this movie, so I think it is my time to stop. I did really enjoy the color palette. I really enjoy the cinematography, and also the musical score for this was it seemed fun. It was very lighthearted and bouncy, and again, I thought they were going to try to go for that lightheartedness with the dark underbelly, but again, it didn't sell it. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you today. Oh, my final verdict, if you couldn't tell. Unless you're curious, unless you're a really big Nicole Kidman fan, which, oh, by the way, that is a positive too. Nicole Kidman does do a really good job in this film. As always, she's a professional. Good job, Nicole. But didn't really have a great script to work with. All in all, guys, I would have to say that unless you're a big Nicole Kidman fan, go ahead and let this one go. I don't think you're going to miss out on a whole lot. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek, guys. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.